I am racing my dad to see who can win the Champions League first. However, we are both starting this challenge without a club and unemployed. And so we have to make our way through the ranks of European football to the Champions League until one of us completes the ultimate goal, and only then will this challenge end. Alright Dad, day one of our unemployed race to the Champions League.
I'm looking forward to this one. Should be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's nothing else for us to do but go on holiday and start waiting for those jobs to appear.
Yeah.
There's a few around right now which we are never going to get. Our reputation's low enough that we need to be looking in the minnows of the league.
That's where the challenge is going to be, innit?
Yeah, let's see what happens when some jobs start creeping up around October time. As I predicted, the beginning of October, a few clubs began parting ways with their managers, and that's when both myself and Dad began applying for as many as we possibly could. And the first club to actually respond without a rejection was Grimsby Town, who offered Dad an interview after finding themselves down in the very bottom of the Football League. Dad gladly still took the interview. Off the back of that, they actually rejected me completely. Also was another club that again rejected my application but was willing to offer Dad an interview, and again down in Sky Bet League 2. Grimsby though was a no-go for Dad, but at least he was still getting interviews, as MK Dons was another one bringing him in for a conversation after telling me again no chance. And I couldn't believe my eyes when Coventry of the Championship then turned up in Dad's emails, wanted to bring him in for a chat, although they seemed to be really desperate as they were the only club to offer me an interview too. And somehow, with clubs like Grimsby turning Dad down at the bottom of League 2, an offer to manage Coventry City in the Championship falls on his lap as I was getting my second interview at Mansfield Town. An overjoyed Omega Dad is announced as the new Coventry City manager, would you believe it, with a lot of time to turn it round with a great side too. Well, I still haven't got a job. I'm a little bit unsuccessful. However, you have been hired.
Sky Blues.
And I don't know
Set me
how
on.
you managed to get a championship job.
I'm happy with that.
I mean, yeah. We have a 3-star reputation. There's no way we should be getting this, but
I ain't turning
Fair
that
enough.
down. I'm right in.
we've been rejected from League 2 clubs. I don't understand how you got a championship job off the back of this straight away, and with a decent side as well.
Yeah.
But all right, best of luck. I've just got to get myself a job now. You're in the 21st position, which is still outside of relegation right now. There's no way Coventry should be down there anyway.
That's why they're sacking their manager at the end of the day, because of where they are at this point. So you've got to expect when you take over a team, that's where you're going to be.
Yeah.
So now the challenge is on now.
Right. Well, I need to find employment. So I need to keep applying for jobs, and we'll crack on with the season and see how Dad starts getting on. Immediately though, Dad was chucked into his first game, and he was rocking a 4-2-2-2 formation with a very balanced gegenpressed approach. And although it wasn't 3 points, he was very happy to come from 2-0 down to equalise against Stoke with 15 minutes to go to snatch a point in his first game. Meanwhile, however, I have finally been offered a role at Mansfield Town, and I'm just happy to get anything. They are currently down in League 2, 2 tiers below Dad with Coventry City, and down in 21st place, so things are looking rather grim for me this early on. Not to mention the injuries for so many of my players was mental, and I was struggling to field a team. So with our distant goal of winning the Champions League, I decided to crack on and get to January before we could evaluate both of our situations again. Okay, so it's our first January window. We've been in the job for a month or two, maybe 6 weeks, roughly around about that. Dad was obviously in a little bit quicker than me, but you're still holding on to championship position at the minute.
I had a dodgy start, but I've just started getting going now. I've started winning a couple of games, so
5 points clear of relegation.
Yeah,
I think that's the main thing. You've won 3 of the last 4, which is
good wins
good.
as well.
Yeah, because you picked up the Stoke game was the first game. You got 2 or draw. It was a long period before you got a
I was
win.
getting worried then.
But at least you got one. Away from home at Sunderland is
always a good result.
Always a great result.
Yeah.
So I think you should be safe.
Yeah.
I think you'll be all right. And I think that's the target for you this season, is just to survive.
I've got to survive,
This year, you can build on
from
it.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. Me, however, I mean, considering I took over Mansfield when they were near the relegation zone, I'm in 6th. I'm in a playoff spot.
You've had a hell of a start, haven't you?
I don't know how I've managed to do it. So I have won every game other than the last game against Stockport.
And they were top of the league.
And they're top of the league.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with that. That's done very well. My 4-4-2 classic lower league 4-4-2 football, and with the amount of injuries I've got, I am buzzing with that start. So we'll go forward to the end of the season now. We're not going to be looking to move clubs anytime soon, and see if we can kind of hit our goals for the end of the year. With neither of us having a budget though, January led to no signings for both clubs, and Dad started to slip down a horrible winless slope. And it got so bad that he fell back into the relegation zone with 7 games remaining and resorted to throwing around different tactics. Get your Tinkerman t-shirts and mugs in our shop below, because Omega Dad needs all the money he can get as he has just been sacked from his first job at Coventry City. Oh dear, that is an abhorrent run.
Awful, isn't it?
And that is the reason why, Dad, you find yourself unemployed again.
Sacked. I should have never got sacked, but relegated with that team. They were good enough to stay up quite easily. I just don't know what happened there.
Yeah, very bad error there in your first role in football.
Yeah.
They go down into Sky Bet League One, and now you'll be looking for another job.
I just couldn't get a winning running going. I'd done well up to that January, wasn't it? Before,
yeah.
And then, bang. Just couldn't get a run going then.
Well, you might struggle to get yourself another job at the minute.
No one's going to want me now, are they?
No. However, how has things gone on in Mansfield? Well, you're going down to League One, Dad, and somehow I'm going up to League One because I went on the most monumental run ever.
You did, didn't you?
That is absolutely insane. I mean, I had a bad end of the season. I could have even finished higher.
Yeah.
But no, I somehow managed to. I mean, Stockport was the game I lost there, which was my first loss. After that, it was all wins again in January.
December and January, you lost one game and won every one apart from that.
Yeah, mental. A little bit of a bad run in February. March was good again, but April was fantastic. The season actually ended in April for me because I didn't even need to play the playoffs. So, yeah, I'll go up in 3rd place into Sky Bet League One next season, so that's going to do wonders in terms of my managerial reputation, so I'm happy with that. Let's go into next season positive with no money, so that's fine. But I think I just need to keep at what I'm doing for now, maybe just trying to find a couple of little bargains to go into the league above, because Mansfield are really, I'm not expecting them to do wonders next season. I think I just continue with what I'm doing at the minute. But you got to find yourself a job, Dad.
Yeah, that ain't going to be easy, is it?
Yeah,
with my reputation now.
No, best of luck with that, because the race to the Champions League, I think you took a good head start getting the Coventry job.
That was my little bit of luck.
It might have been a step too high for you too soon. So, yeah, good luck on the job market. With a lot of options around Europe in terms of jobs, Dad once again applied for as many as he could. And with my finances, there was not a lot of action I could do in terms of bringing in new players to Mansfield. So I decided to test the waters and see if there are any other clubs that would be willing to take a gamble with me. But the rejection emails were coming in for Omega Dad. However, clubs were very intrigued by my application, and I had 3 interviews immediately. Although I realised quite quickly the clubs in question were in worse situations than I would be in with Mansfield. Northampton was the only one out of the 3 that caught my eye, but after investigating more, I decided to stay put for now and reject their interview. Dad finally had a lifeline though, and it came in the form of Partick Thistle in the 2nd tier of Scotland. An interview he really needed. They were asking all the difficult questions, such as why in his brief period in management he's already been relegated at a club. The interview seemed to go well though, and he seems to be in line for the job according to the media, although not seen as the leading candidate for the role, weirdly. But the Partick Thistle board had chosen their man, and it was Omega Dad who gladly accepted the new role. Meanwhile, Rotherham were inviting myself in for a conversation about their vacancy. And with them relegated into the league I'm about to go in, I happily took the interview with an open mind of getting the job. Dad arrived in Scotland to his new office, where he could then take a closer look at the squad and the challenge he now faces. Back in Mansfield, a rather quick takeover happened with no plans of investment into the club, although we aren't in the red anymore. But I was rather shocked to see that I didn't get the Rotherham job, and instead they went with Liverpool's under-21s manager, who clearly needs to buy a pair of sunglasses. Well, Dad, for now it looks like I'm staying put in Mansfield.
Yeah, I was surprised with that one.
Yeah, I really thought I'd get that Rotherham job. Yeah. There's a few other jobs that have popped up that I'm kind of intrigued with. There's a whole City one now that I'm like, oh, maybe I will apply for that. Did they get relegated? They didn't. They just survived in the Championship.
It's worth a try.
It might be worth a try for sure. But for now, all right, if I stay at Mansfield, I'll stay at Mansfield. However, you did get yourself a job.
Yes, I'm pleased with that. I mean,
You're off to Scotland.
Off to Scotland. I normally do well in Scotland, so I'm hoping on this one.
All right. So you see it as a bit of a place where you can do something.
It's still a bit of a challenge. But,
you're in the second tier.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy job, but at least they didn't get into the relegation. I know they only stayed up by a point, but I've got something to work on as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you avoid all the mistakes you made at Coventry, and there was a lot, you might be all right. So, see how that goes for you next season.
Fingers crossed. They put their faith in me. They were the only ones to put their faith in me, so don't take that.
Exactly. Because, of course, the ultimate goal is to go on and win the Champions League, but if you're not doing it in the lower leagues and you can't build up a reputation... then that competition is never going to be within reach.
Warwick Thistle could be that team.
I don't think you're going to take them all the way. There might be a stepping stone to the next point.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. They're definitely a stepping stone team. So get them in. Hopefully, get them at the next league, into the Premier League, and I'll be happy then.
All right then. Okay.
There, I think.
So we're going into season number 2 with the ultimate goal, of course, of lifting the Champions League. Just not quite yet.